Okay, folks, welcome back. Working on the German 250/9 half track from Eschi. I'm trying to decipher this running gear because the instructions don't make any sense. So we put this one together correctly. So we'll just need to do the same thing again. So those are the concave ones, the convex ones that go on the back. So we're just doing the reverse. This one would go here. Nope. I don't know who these. I don't know what age group this is geared for, but definitely. Good morning, U.S. Airborne. How are you? FHSW. FHSW for I don't know. I don't know what that. I don't know what F. I've noticed a lot of people recently, like their handles have changed. I'm not saying yours has, but a lot of people have been forced to put. They have been forced to put like a seems like a bunch of numbers behind their name, or it's appearing now all of a sudden. You know, this is gonna go in first. That one goes deep, and this one also goes deep. Okay, and then this one goes shallow. And then this one goes shallow. And then this one will go like this. Whee! Yep. All right, so I can go ahead and glue this in here. I know this is so entertaining to watch. I think the next time one of these goes on for $2, I ain't buying it. I'm not gonna buy it. It's just, I mean, we can get it to come out okay, but what a pain in the butt. It's like, what do I do to deserve this? I'd much rather all this thing be 3D printed, but the problem is that 3D printed isn't $2. If it was, it's not my bit of an impulse buy. I'll go places and I'll see something that in a flea market that somebody's just dying to get rid of, and it's yesteryear's model. This is yesteryear thing. You haven't made these things since the 70s or 80s. And it's an opportunity to put something together. You know, the assembly on this thing is really poor, but the detail on these wheels is actually really good. Yeah, it keeps happening because I can't lean over my table. If I do, then I'll have back issues. Okay. And that might not be how they want you to build it, but that's the way that it matches. What's going on? All right, let's go ahead and install this one like this. This is this guy right here. And I gotta put the box down here because it's definitely contaminated. And what I mean by that is some of these old boxes that have been sitting in somebody's attic or garage or something like that, it may happen in somebody's house. I have a feeling these were in a garage or something, and the heat, the Florida heat, ends up breaking down the. Oh, let's not do that. We got to put these on the back. But this is the one on this side. This is the one on that side. Let's get these idlers on here. Okay, should be the last two that we have. I really wish Tamiya had made 1/72nd scale. Well, if Tamiya had made 1/72nd scale, nobody'd be selling them for $2 because they'd be, the detail on this thing is actually really good. The crew members are not bad at all. They're actually pretty nice. It's the assembly that's just. They have you put too many things on, and the way of attaching them is not very sturdy. So, I still think the most difficult part, though, is these small pieces, just using your gargantuan hands to try to manipulate them is first and foremost the biggest problem. And some people be like, oh, painting the road wheels, that's going to be really difficult. Pfft, not for me. That part's easy. I can reach anything with a paintbrush that I can see. It's King Kong decorating a cake that's the problem. Okay. That's going to go on the inside. And this is going to go on the outside. Definitely not made for children. Experienced adults only. And it's not very durable. Like, this is an example of a vehicle that will be better served to actually be on a stand, so that the intricacies of the suspension don't get messed up by somebody. You're building the Intelli with the pack. Okay, I haven't built that one. I suspect you're going to have suspension issues similar to this one. Yeah, that's a good. Well, are you in the U.S.? So there's like 3 of us that build 1/72nd scale in the U.S.? I think it's a great scale. I use skirmish game with them, so you know, back when I started, I specifically found figures that I couldn't wait to paint and use for skirmish gaming, and they happen to be 1/72nd scale. Okay, this sits like this, therefore this is this one. No. This is this one. There we go. We needed to get this thing to fit inside the other one. And it fits in there. So I guess I did something right. Perfect. I was having my doubts. Well, this matches what the pictures look like. Whether or not you can actually build it that way with a model, the way they built the model correctly is a different matter, but we'll let this melt in here for a little bit. Yeah, they have the SDKFZ 11, which is the the core of that half track. That is the half track that the 251 is based on. The SDKFZ 10 is the one this is based off, which this is like 3/4 of the capacity of that one. You can carry like a half squad in here instead of like a full squad. But that's the towing vehicle. It's hard to actually find photos of that thing. It's not that common. SDKFZ, or at least not that common finding photos of it. Okay, this one might be a little bit more challenging. No, we got it in there. Yeah, I don't want to put another one of these together. This suspension is just like, is pain in the ass. And we haven't even stretched the tracks around it, which I suspect that's going to be a different issue. Just the way these things are designed is just designed really not very durable. You've got a notch here for these two, for the drive sprockets to go in. So, and the drive sprocket only sticks in maybe a millimeter. So that's bad enough as it is, and it's notched. So it doesn't have support for the connection all the way around. It has support for the connection maybe 3/4 of the way around. There's a notch here. You'd think this would be a rod or something. It's not. It's just a little nub. Okay, and now that this is here, I can adjust this so that the front wheels are the right distance on the front. That's how they wanted me to put it, and it looks like that fits just fine. It's vertical like that. Yeah, they have that thing listed like it's for the Africa Corps. I don't believe that they used the Pac 40 in North Africa or in Tunisia. I could be wrong, but I don't believe they did. Well, here's the first problem that we have. Installing this correctly, these wheels are cambered towards the inside, and they should not. They should be flush. They should be vertical, not. It'll turn out just fine. It's just like, it's just not very satisfying. It's satisfying that I'm like, I gotta build this, but. And the funny thing is I do have another one of these to do. I have the Rommel's one, the 253, 250/3, the radio one, which I'm not going to build as Rommel's half track. I'm going to paint it in gray and send it to Mother Russia somewhere. But it didn't come with the tracks. And we're not putting the track on it anytime soon. Let this thing harden. I might even reinforce it with some super glue. But this thing has better detail than most Eschi models. On the, I mean, the wheels look really good. There's the garbage truck, 2 days late, or what day late. I'm gonna put it like, let's just keep babying this a little bit longer. I'm not really in a hurry. What are you doing with those models? You gonna war game with them, or are you gonna just use them for display, or? One thing for sure, I wouldn't pay full price for this thing. insides. My sound is gone. I haven't touched anything. I'm still getting the microphone there, kicking back and forth. YouTube is definitely being screwy. You know, the other day I was filming with my phone, all of a sudden the sound disappeared. Yeah. Yeah, I can see the mic going up and down here. I literally had my hands here, so I don't know. Maybe I need to find another hobby. You know, and all these dickweeds that have this, you know, look at me, YouTube presence. You know, their stuff seems to work just fine. I'm trying to provide a service. There's nothing I can do about it. I haven't touched my microphone. It's right here, so. So I don't worry about it too much. I wanted to have some kind of like a professional channel. I'd be all upset. Oh, it's going to look like I'm an amateur. Like, it's out of my control, you know. Out of my control. This is the inside. Put a steering wheel. There's nothing on the console, but they want you to put a steering wheel on there. Okay. I'll do this. I don't want to damage any of the pieces on the front. They want you to put a steering wheel, but they don't give you a hole for it. Let me look that up since I have my phone and we're not filming with it. Let me see. YouTube live sound not working. Yeah, I can't restart my device. Back now. You notice I haven't done anything. It's on YouTube's end. And I don't think it's your system, only because that happened to several people the other day. And they're like, hey, you're muted. I'm like, no, I'm not. I haven't touched anything. And I don't really fiddle with that. I'm not a tech person. You know, bunch of nerds. Nerd burglars always got to fuck with shit. This is really good for getting in close and not overcutting it. And I'm gonna put a new blade on here. Yeah, you can see I never went over there and touched anything. It doesn't do any good. It's not on my end. Oh, I fooled myself and left him over here. All right, let me get some. We done with this? No, we still got some. All right, ready to go. Some tea. It's really frustrating to put your heart into something and then you get rewarded by things not working. I don't mean necessarily this instance, but some folks had asked me to do a how to paint such and such video and said, well, I don't really want to do that, but okay, I'll go ahead and film it while I'm doing it. And I had it filmed, and then the next thing you know, it was all out of register because I'm, an army of one. I'm here. I can't see which way it's being filmed, and I got discouraged. I'm like, I can't do that again. I don't need that kind of disappointment in my doing hobby stuff. So I don't mind sharing all my tricks and stuff I've learned throughout the years, but I don't want to be frustrated by it either. I don't have a producer or editor or somebody else watching my videos. I mean, hell, my local folks, I can't, they're not even interested in, in seeing what I'm working on, so. Good morning, Ulfman. How many games of Sea Creek 4 did you play this morning? I hope that answered any questions that you might have had initially. It's not that difficult. It just seems overwhelming. Trying to cut this, and they put this connection point right next to like this little circle. There's like a little circular, it's probably some kind of access hatch or something like that in the front plate of this 250. That guy you're wanting to play the secret with, is he the same one that you play the is he your DBA guy or the guy that's into hot? I think he's into hot is what it is. Is that your hot guy? I think you said he was Pakistani or something like that. Yeah, you're Mitch. Does does he like armies of his period? I mean, is he like into like Gurids or who's the other guys that would be on there? I guess Arab Indian, Gurids. Who else would fall into that period? The Abbasids went all the way out there, but they didn't last very long. They eventually started splintering into different groups when they switched over from Umayyads to Abbasids. They inherited the whole kingdom, and then all the other ones kind of splintered off and said, "Hey, we want to be our own people. We want to be ruled by our own folks." But he's called Warren. Okay? Yeah, half Irish, half Pakistani. Oh my goodness. But he's more English than me due to my Americanism. Oh, stop it. So you have more teeth than him. Americanism. Warren. Oh, man. My daughter, when she went to Spain, she went with, she didn't go with anybody, but she had college mates, as you would say. And when they would go out, when there were a bunch of American girls, and when they go out, said the people would pester all the girls, because they knew they didn't look like they were in Spain for, money or whatever, and they would just keep hounding them. Not a lot, but when it happened, said they didn't leave her alone because she looked like she belonged there. Said, I've been to Spain. I look more Spanish than the people that are there. You get to wave your flag today and shout down with it. Yeah, he has the largest Arab army in 28 millimeter and the classical Indian army. I think the Arab armies are super cool looking. I have several. I really enjoy looking at them. I mean, I don't want to be ruled by them, but that pretty much goes for anyone. I don't want an English king either. But the Arab armies are really cool. Especially, who's those zealot dudes that I have? The Courage guys. That's one of my favorite armies. And they're just like, for the most part, drab colored. You get to wave your flag today and shout down with commies. I don't know what that means. I hate commies, but they're fun to play. Especially the Soviets. I like playing the Soviets. Soviets are fun. The Soviets have cool equipment, you know? The T-34s, I mean, all the World War II gear is, pretty neat. His Arab dudes are a bit of a mix of the Gripping Beast sets. He really likes Vikings too. You not checking in on Caracas? I'm so out of touch with it. No, I don't keep up with current events because they're all manipulating us to what, hey, look at this over here. Huh? And then they're, stealing things from our back pocket while we look over there. And that goes for anybody all the time. I'm not a conspiracy person, but that's just what's been happening. So no, I don't know what's going on in Caracas. I know that I do. I did. There's some woke people that are having a moo cow over it, and then I don't even go on Twitter, but I get feeds on Facebook, and it's always some blue-haired person that's complaining about U.S. being the terrorists and stuff like that, and then they just get bombarded with people. Hey, I'm Venezuela, and I appreciate the U.S. do. I don't know. I stay out of it. I stay out of it. I had to look it up a couple months ago to find out what happened. There was an election. The guy decided not to step down. I'm like, okay. Like, man, the guy rigs elections and he still lost? No, those places there's never going to be a solution for. The only thing that keeps places in check, well, I don't know, is any place really in check, is people not being super poor. If people are super poor in a country, like 90% of the people are just trying to get by. They don't care what happens to the government. They're just trying to feed their family. I get it. So in those places where there's the poverty rate is really high and people have a lot of kids, which keeps that poverty rate going, it's like, there's no solution. There's no solution until you stop having kids and to straighten things out a little bit. But, I don't know how this is going to fit in here. So, but it is the time to do it. I don't think there's anything I have to install inside. Let's give it a whirl. I'm not going to put the steering wheel in it. You can't see it. It's closed up. So I might need a steering wheel for something else. Somebody else on Gaslands or whatever. So I'm about ready for some tea here. Look at modern face battle, last phase, possibly low-tech, sci-fi, even Miami Vice type stuff. That's as close to modern war as I get. I think later we might see Maduro frog walk out at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's in on the... I couldn't. I'm telling you, I couldn't be in politics because it's like, even if you want to be the one guy that wants to do the right thing, you're in a pit of vipers. You're swimming in a pit of vipers. And it's not an American thing. It's not a British thing. I think it happens everywhere. It's these damn politicians and. I think it's going to go in just fine. If it's not grandiose or anything, but I think it'll do. These two chairs that are here, like for like toddlers, kindergarten chairs. Yeah, I don't know that I'm ever going to do my African imaginations thing. I think all of my imaginations energy can be put to good use in the Gaslands world I've created. And that's really all I wanted to do is just make something that was, funny, piece not PC, and make fun of all the, to use a term I don't like to use, all the bad actors. I don't like that term. Hitler, oh, he was a bad actor. It's not a very big vehicle. All right, we done with this? Be right back. All right. Yeah, the figures that this comes with are actually pretty decent looking. So I gotta think this is one of the latest things that Eshi made. Let's see if I can put them on here so you don't have to believe me. I don't know if you can see them. Actually, I got my phone. I got my phone clear. I've seen this figure before, which is the Tank Commander. I haven't seen these other two on any models I have. This one in particular on the end is particularly good. I love it when it just rotates and you don't want it to rotate. There we go. That's a pretty good figure. So, since this is a closed up vehicle, these are guys that, if painted, would be used for something else. Like this guy'd make like a good guard. He's got his helmet down, bareheaded, which is, it's strange to find soldiers that are bareheaded. It's unusual to find them. Well, we can't put on, thank you, we can't put the tracks on yet. And because we don't have the tracks on yet, we can't put those fenders on. So we need to do everything other than the fenders. And lots of tools and stuff on here. I'm going to put this top of this on, and hopefully it fits, because there's really nothing you can adjust. These grenade screens look really good though. If you're going to make your own World War II game system, nice MG34 too. One of the things to kind of, one of the hurdles to get around is to get some of the weapon systems to basically behave in a realistic manner. And one of the weapon systems that's always a challenge is this weapon, which is this little autocannon that the Germans have on so many vehicles. On the Panzer IIs and their armored cars, and on this thing. And there's a magazine fed. It's not belt fed, it's a magazine fed. It'd be better if it was belt fed, but that would be a heavy ass belt. Magazine fed 20 millimeter L55, 55 caliber weapon. I think it has some very limited anti-aircraft capability, but it's mainly for use as a 50 caliber, basically. Similar use as a 50 caliber weapon. Take out light vehicles, suppress infantry if they're in like harder cover, punch into a wooden house, that kind of stuff. And it's a difficult weapon system to get right in a game. Sometimes it get treated as just like a lot of small arms. Sometimes it get treated as, a small cannon, Alright, now this, I hope it doesn't go that way, because then we've really got to do some trimming. Don't tell me it goes from the inside. I don't think it would fit on the inside. And it tells me to put it on after everything else. So, if it needed to be installed from the inside, it's a little too late, folks. I think it goes like that. Unless it fits in like this, and that could also be the case. Do we need to go look at some pictures? It's got a spot for an MG back here, and it shouldn't, because it's a common hull if you're going to use it for the 250/3, which it would have a machine gun back there. We'll fill that thing in. Let's look at our references here. Looks like it pretty much fits flush. If that's the case, you have these injection part molds here on the wrong side. Again, a kid's like, fuck this modeling business. I don't ever want to do this again. It's a little too late to put it in from the inside. However, where's my model of 250/3 that I couldn't complete because it didn't have it. So let me look at that. Assuming I can find it. What would it be? Let's see. Might be in a bag. It may not have come with a box. Be off camera here for a little bit. See if I can just find out where this thing is. Got a lot of German half tracks to do. Look at these. I haven't painted any of these. Hadn't finished any of them. They're all fixed. But the numbering system on gray half tracks is an issue for me. I haven't really found any convincing information of how they were labeled. Frequently, they don't have any markings at all. It's not there. Okay. This is fairly well organized. Panzer III stuff I was looking for yesterday. Found it. And when you have multiple things to look for, you might find the other one that you're not looking for. Perfect. Okay. This is already a step in the right direction of finding that. I can't believe I have those 7 or 8 Russian vehicles that are like complete. I just don't have them in. I don't have any place to put them in case. Okay, which means it's got to be here. It's got to be in this location. I think it was in a bag. Anyways, that one, there's some communality to it. And it's unbuilt, so I figured, okay, well, let's try to put this in from the bottom and see if the instructions are wrong. You should have put it in from that direction. You know, these models aren't that bad, but you really just can't trust the instructions. They're really poor. Got a couple of AA batteries that shouldn't be. They're not what they're supposed to be. What if it's outside in the garage? Well, I'm going to stop looking for it. I'm going to turn out, it's here somewhere. But I was going to build it several months ago and then realized, oh shit, I don't have any track. Yeah. It's somewhere. No biggie. Hey, I found the Panzer III tracks. Shit. I got more vehicles that are complete than that. I got nowhere to put them. And putting these things on stands makes it even worse. They take up more space. I need another one of these cases. Or I need to take these buildings off the top rack and just remove them. It's probably what I should do. And then make space for tanks. So I've got 14 to 16 tanks that are complete and just aren't in here. Well, I don't know where that 250/3 is. So it'll turn up at a later date. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this Opel Blitz truck. It doesn't have all the wheels. Maybe I can find a spare. I want to do another truck. Can't have enough trucks. Well, you could. But I'm not there yet. All right. Well, who knows where it is. But hey, we found this. Oh, little German bits. All right, well, can I remove this? Is it even an option? Yeah. All right, let's give it a shot. That's exactly what it is. You're supposed to install it in from the inside. But it shows it to put it on afterwards. So, don't trust a soul. It's not a big deal. It's actually not attached that well. Let's see if we can... magic here. I said this several days ago, and I'll say it again. Almost every set of instructions has problems with them. There's a disconnect between the people that design it. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Where else is it attached at? Here. You know, this would suck royally if I had to get this done by a certain time. But since we're just kind of hanging out, it's not that big of a deal. Look at that. Look how easily that comes apart. It's a little bit more. There we go. All right, now let's try not to stick our hands in any of that. And let's drop this in from the top. I was wanting to find the other half track because I could just use this and see if it fits in there. Fits in there pretty well. These fools. These Italian fools. All right, let's get a little piece of cardboard here, because I don't want this to possibly react with this. So this is what I'm talking about. Steady progress. I don't care that things take a long time to do, as long as you're constantly moving forward. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. Like, oh, I kicked this thing's ass. Right? Now, if I needed to have this, I don't want really bite marks on this thing. If I had a deadline, yeah, this would suck. Okay, but I don't have a deadline. Let's put this and let's rotate it so it says level. Oh, we're not going to be able to grab it from them. We want it like this. So with the jaws like that, you know, may not work. Then again, it may. All right. Let's drop it in place first. Oh yeah, the margin of error is very small. Let's close this up until we're ready to use it. Gotta temporarily hold it in place. I'm actually enjoying this. As sadistic as this sounds, but I'm learning some new skills along the way. Thanks to the incompetence of this model maker. Looks really good. I said the mold quality on this particular model is pretty good. It's just the engineering is a failure. I don't think I need that. See, I was going to do that. On the way of using this, I found a better way to do it. Make sure it's equidistant all the way around. I mean, hell, I can leave the stick on underneath there. Nobody would know. Except my viewers, so nobody would know. No way a 13 or a 14 or a 20 or 25-year-old me would have been able to do that. So we'll make sure that that's connected pretty darn well, because otherwise, as soon as you rotate that turret, it's going to get knocked off. Now I can already tell you it's got like little teeth to fit in there. We're going to make sure that flows really well, so we don't put extra pressure in that when that thing turns around and knock it through, and then we got to take the thing apart again. You know. Snowing over here in northeast England. Great to see you continuing with World War II for a while. Yeah, we're going to mix it up, you know. World War II is my jam. If you're hoping me to get back to ancients, you're probably up a creek. That's probably never going to happen. It's too long of a commitment. It's not like I can paint like 2 nights and then go back to it, you know. You know, the whole reason I kept on doing DBA is I didn't want the game to die. And then the tens of thousands of hours that I put into painting the armies would be wasted. And now I'm like, these armies are keeping me from doing other stuff. You know, trying to continue to play DBA, even though the group of people that play it just won't grow in the United States, no matter what I do. It's keeping me from doing World War II and other stuff. So, yeah, because I can build these and like not finish them and be okay. Or I can build them, paint one, be okay, and go back to match to the cars. You know, paint one car, come back to this. You know, it's peace of mind. Okay, I think we're gonna let this be. Now this little machine gun hole shouldn't be back there. Okay, this is the same hole for the 250. Where's Mr. Sprue go? Oh, Dios mío. And that's with having a pretty organized area. If I had some of the modeling areas, some that I've seen, I'd be up a creek. Now we added more liquid to here. So let's see if that made a difference to this particular side. Yeah. Yep. Let's mix this up. Good morning, Marcus. Oh, have you missed a fun one? Maybe you've seen it. I don't know. These models. The instructions on these models suck. And they're flat out wrong. That's all right. I'm developing some new skills along the way. Okay? Fill in that hole right there. I still paid DBA, but I will World War II also. From what you mentioned yesterday, me and my son. Oh, hold on a second. Me and my son gave up on the rules and made it a homebrew game we could enjoy and rarely play it now, but still paint. Ranges are your favorite World War II second. Bought one of those 259s. Ready built though. Have 4 of the PC version too. Yeah, I can't recommend this thing. The instructions are just wrong. The casting isn't bad. I mean, the details on it, pretty damn solid. I mean, it looks good. But the instructions are just completely wrong. Completely wrong. That's all right. That's all right. Want to buy another one for $2? Probably. Because it's a challenge. It's a nice challenge. You know, I can handle it. You know. But I'm not in a hurry, and it's not like I'm making out of paper. The biggest problem is the pieces are so small, and you got gargantuan hands. So if you can get over that, the rest of it's okay. And I'm not being rushed doing it. Now I'm not going to close this thing up just yet. Okay, but it's looking pretty good. I'm probably going to leave that stickum underneath there. I mean, what? I can donate some to it. It'll give it some heft. You know, when I was but the front thing has got a camber. It's weird. I think the wheels do have a little bit of a camber, but not 15 degrees. It'll straighten itself out by the time we put it on a stand. And we'll have to put a stand on this one just to kind of make it durable. All right, what do we got? What are we supposedly going to install next? All right, we got this tow hooks here at the front. That's a little too close to the connection point of this, so we'll leave that off. We can go ahead and do. Let's not put the headlamps on there because they're going to be in our way when we try to close it up and get a good seal on it. So we'll avoid that. We'll avoid tools because they probably have the tools in the wrong damn place. You think they fucked up the door placement? Maybe. I'll have to consult everything on this thing. Turret. There's only one way to put the turret together. Let's go ahead and do the turret. PSC version. That's the way to go, man. PSC are just so much more durable than anything else. But I guess they're getting out of the model making business. I don't know what their investors are telling those guys to do, but I like the PSC models. Even with the issues that they have. The issues that they have are not major issues. now, we'll use the little Tamiya cutters. I wonder how long these Tamiya cutters are supposed to last before they're dull. I've done a lot of cutting with them, but I'm babying them too. So I'm not ready to spend 25 bucks on another pair. And we got that close. I went to Hobby Lobby and didn't buy more sandpaper. Oh well. The line was insane. That's a store that's actually declined pretty badly in just a matter of years. Between the, oh man, that turned out great. Between the checkout system, or lack thereof, and the fact that they don't carry a lot of things that they use. They now carry Vallejo primer, not that I don't want to use it, but they don't carry a lot of stuff. But it's one of those things that, I never liked chain. I never had a problem with chain stores. But the chain stores, ever since, a certain event, has really gone sideways. Like, they don't even do their own ordering. So if you go to any store of a certain brand, they're going to have exactly the same thing in it. So there's no reason to, travel to another town to go see what their inventory is like, because they have the same inventory, unless they happen to be out of something. But they had two Airfix models. They had that Sherman, which, by the way, I've got two more of them to build. The Airfix Sherman, and I've got a Matchbox Firefly. But they used to have the Airfix Sherman and something else Airfix. I want to say maybe a Hurricane or a Spitfire or something like that in 1/72nd. Now they don't carry any of them. Not that I want any more of those Shermans. I think that'll give me 8 of them. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And this thing's going to be 3-color camouflage. We'll call it Normandy. For Normandy. Okay. I need to start thinking of these models as like vacuform kits. Like, this is as close as I'll get to vacuform. Like, do you build vacuform kits? No, but I built Eschi models and I fix them. And the end result is good. It's just getting there is fraught with problems. Okay, this is supposed to be towards the front, and this is supposed to be towards the front. All right. Grenade screens, we're going to make them closed. Okay, the nice MG34 goes here. We'll make sure that it closes up before we decide to put that in there. And the over-engineered 20mm cannon, which is composed of 3 pieces. Man, the Dragon one was insane too. The Dragon one had so many pieces in it. Let's cut these pieces out. Okay. And the business end here. Let's not cut it too close. I don't mind sanding to where it needs to end at. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the MG34 out. Okay, the rest goes down my sandpaper. Well, checking out new Fairfix 72nd, seem they have added the toolbox on the turret and charged an extra £5 for it. Now £11.95. You know, just buy it 3D printed. You know, unless you really want to build a model. You know, I'd rather spend all my time painting it. That doesn't mean I can't build models, obviously, but and I don't not enjoy doing this, but I'm just not motivated to buy stuff at those prices. You know, I already have too much stuff. But if you're gonna basically give stuff away to me, yeah, well, it's content for my show, right? It's show content. This doesn't bother me one bit. Like, I have somewhere to hold. You could be gentle with it. I got my contacts out, so we got built-in +6. It's relaxing. It's turning out well. We're gonna drill the hole out. We're gonna drill a hole in the front of this thing. You're gonna do what? Yep. This thing is bigger around than the 50mm cannon from Matchbox. Also has a flared end on it. This cannon is got flare. I'll make this the nicest 250/9 you guys have ever seen. It's part of the Armored Recon Company, or the Armored Recon Platoon, in the Panzer Recon Company. Be nice to have a unit that used these and a Puma and a Lux, but they didn't. The Lux and the Pumas didn't serve together. That's a shame. From what I can tell, the Pumas were not in units that had the Lux. Okay, I think we're good with that. Let's put this up against an edge. We still have a point, we do. Let's see if we can find the midpoint here. That's damn near in the freaking center of it. Okay. That drill bit goes out. This one goes in. It's so much easier to work with plastic than white metal. Actually, I have to go bigger than this. Actually, I have to go a little bit bigger. It's another thing I didn't have growing up. Pin vise. Okay. Now the part I hate, putting the sides on this thing. With the joining points in here, yeah, but there's no notches for them. So I went to the hobby show back in October with the specific purpose of getting rubber tipped tweezers. But the tweezers have to be small, they have to be this size. And rubber tipped, you wouldn't need much rubber. Came up empty handed. I ordered some online. They were too big. You weren't precise enough. You couldn't grab anything precisely. So maybe I just need to buy another one like this, and dip them in something. Hot glue gun. Okay. Now this is going to have to go installed here, and there's no notches or anything for it. Just a piss poor design. But the Dragon ones on these little armored cars were a nightmare because they want you to put seats and stuff in there, and they're just too small. All right, that looks good. Yeah, we'll let that percolate there. I take this notch, I'm going to cut half of it off. It should flow. It should turn easier. Okay, and that NG34, which is here, we'll leave this like this until we're ready for it. Which is really a nice casting. Unlike so many others. But this isn't a problem, is like these pieces aren't difficult to grab. That's like the first thing that's a problem. Let's make it edge with this. Good morning, Big Mac. Did it go in the hole? It didn't. And it also fell out. Okay. Yeah, it fits in there. Okay. Let's go ahead and weld that puppy in. Yep, it's a half track that is a pain in the ass. I cannot recommend this to anybody. Instructions are wrong, and so forth. It's alright. We're still kicking its little ass. Alright, we gotta use the little boy's room. Be right back. Okay. What kind of half track? It's this thing right here. That's painted in the wrong, illustrated in the wrong color. I don't think these were ever gray. With this configuration with the 20mm Canon. All right, so let's remove that. Okay, good. We want to leave a little bit to sand off. Okay. This little bit of flash. It's strange to see flash on things, but it's pretty much a standard on this thing. All right, let's take one of these sides and let's reduce this to nothing. I can get this down a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. That one's good. Yep. Okay. I used to have one of these as a stomper vehicle. Old battery operated stomper. Yeah, that grenade screen's good. I prefer this actually to the Dragon ones that are flimsy. This at least is not flimsy. Am I going to use it for Gaslands? No, this is not Gasland stuff. No. I only want to make believe stuff for Gaslands. Now we're taking a little break from Gaslands. Just felt like doing some World War II stuff. And I can do that because it doesn't really affect anything. have any kind of deadlines or anything I've got to do. But I took what you said to heart, Justin. I'm like, why you got to play at Mitch's? I agree. I'm not playing at Mitch's. We'll play here. We film anything? You know, if he can't make it here, I guess we won't play. It's not that big of a deal, you know. Let's see how this thing fits on here. It's pretty good. Brett back. Missed early part of the session. Back and late on SG kits. Yeah, they're... This one actually has probably the best detail I've seen on an SG kit. It's really nice, actually. But the instructions are not to be trusted. They're just flat out wrong. They are flat out wrong. We do need to expand this little notch back here for the antenna. Probably should do that before we glue the grenade screens on. F24. I can't look at it here. I've got to look at the other thing and figure out which piece it is. Archaic bullshit. And it didn't come with any decals, did it? Those sons of bitches. Doesn't matter. They'll probably be dry rotted anyways. I'd like to at least see them. I mean, I could see them here, but... What do you say, it's 24? It's all the way on the end. This piece. Well, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. I do need to put a tiny little notch in there to... You may have to replace that. This is definitely a vehicle I want an antenna with because, you know, it's like... That's the whole point. This thing's got to have a radio. I found them. I found the enemy. All right. This looks like almost like a little lamp. Let me find the size of antenna that I'm using. No, we're not going to install that later, but no, right now, but... Using bristles from the brush, and it works really well. Except I can't grab them. Nah, I couldn't spend this amount of time on a Gaslands vehicle. I'd go crazy. This is way too long to be spending on a Gaslands vehicle. They're not worth it. Yep. Yep, I think this will work. And if something happens to this, we'll just make our own. So we'll put a little notch here in the middle of this. And we'll go back down to the one that was originally in here. So we captured Maduro, Venezuela. That didn't take long. We did? I just don't pay attention to the news. Oh, all the kids in my daughter's school will be protesting. That guy looks like a joke. I mean, he's like, who's that? Escobar. Escobar looks like a freaking joke. You guys ever watch Narcos, the first season? Man, it fits inside. You just got to make it a little deeper. This is definitely something to practice airbrushing on. I haven't tried to do any detailed like airbrushing, like squiggles and shit like that. Just when you think you're good at airbrush, try doing some squiggles. It'll be fine. Man, that's crazy. It's want to be deep enough that you can grab like get a purchase on it. I think we did. I think that'll do it. Like a little lamp. Okay. Now, I want to look at pictures of it because I don't trust where that notch is. See more. It's not even on some models. So this actually, I came across this. This is actually the colors that are given to you in in the set, and this green, this olive green too, looks exactly like that, and it looks wrong to me. It looks almost gray, but this guy's somebody that restored something in 1-to-1 scale. He used the color that's what it looks like. They give it to you. Yeah. It's not very green. I preferred it to look like this, although it might just be complete fantasy. I know it varied a little bit, but let me look at let me look at the Tamiya model. 'Tamiya. Model. 'Tamiya. 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 Download the instructions. Okay, it's like on a corner. Yeah, it's on the back. It's on the back middle, not off a little bit. Offset. Trust no one. Create my own little notch there. Yeah, I didn't really care for the Narcos first one. Narcos Mexico is excellent. Narcos Mexico is excellent. I don't know how accurate it is. Don't care. Yeah, it looks good. We'll have to do a little bit of filling in around here with the sprue goo. Let's see what's going on over on this side. YouTube channel called Wealth Storytell. You'd probably like it. Short videos on weapons. Man, I can't even watch the stuff that I normally am subscribed to. See how we're doing here. Okay. Now we think about putting the grain screens on. Man, this vacation's been so long, I think I'm getting Sunday blues on Saturday. Well, it just takes some patience, and it turned out looks pretty good. Looks pretty darn good. See what's going on with these damn tracks. They look good. I mean, obviously the back's not detailed. Who cares? I don't care about that. It's a plaything. Yeah, here's one of the problems we have. So this thing has been sitting in somebody's garage or attic or something for so long that it's brittle. And as soon as you turn this corner, see it's already trying to snap here. So yeah, there's that. There is that. That is a true issue. So I'm gonna try to put this everywhere I put it. It's going to. The same thing is going to happen. It looks like it actually fit on there pretty well size wise. Well, let's go ahead and do this. Well, that was poorly executed. It's hard to aim for this thing because it's not exactly in the center of it. That's in the middle. Now, I have no idea what the repercussions of this are going to be. I'm just going to try to put it on. And it also doesn't help that this is connected pretty weakly. Look at that, we got it on there. Now there's a lot of slack in here. And we may or may not choose to do something about that. We've got fenders to put on that may push it down. I'm going to leave this as is for the time being. You ever go fishing in Florida, one of the rivers, have a gator in it, bit it in half? You ever go fishing in Florida in one of the rivers and have a gator? No. No, I've gone fishing only a couple times in my life. I never went fishing until the father-in-law took us fishing. I didn't have a fishing dad. Now, do I enjoy fishing? Yeah, it's okay. I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, the step one to not know what the to when you don't know what the hell you're doing is admit you don't know what the hell you're doing. I am not a fan of fresh water though, unless I'm showering in it. So I'd rather go to the salt water. And we've been deep sea fishing, but like the guy put all the lures and stuff. I'm just I'm just doing the basic stuff. Caught a mahi, I guess it was pretty big. It was 3-4 feet long. It's fun. It's fun if they're biting. If they're not biting, it's no fun. It's also fun if you can drink. If you're fishing from a dock, it's illegal to have a open container, and that's just stupid. Like I'm not going to fish and not have a drink. And drinking's not a big part of my life, but it is part of fishing. I don't want to be fishing without having a beer. I don't need to have 12 beers. I'm 1, 2 is fine. I'm not going to misbehave. I also don't like being told, hey, you can't have a beer. Well, why not? I behave better with one. So I don't like fishing from land, and I'm not really a fan of fresh water. Gators, I forget they're there. Okay, this side fits even better. That's not too bad because we can work with that. By the time you put and we can run string through there and tighten that up if we need to. The problem is when you tighten this up, it'll end up, it could end up breaking here. So we may end up having to put some epoxy or something like that to hold it in place so it doesn't snap here on the curves because of it's just having lost all its elasticity due to being in a hot environment for who knows how many years or decades or what have you. Okay, so we can work with that. We've done that before. All right. The fender. And luckily there's locator pins here. Sometimes you get these fenders and there's no locator pins. So far, so good. Things are going well. Sanding's actually going really well. I'm using more grit than I normally would. What I really like is scalloping. That's a lot of fun. And man, those jokers are tasty too. So I'm curious to see how much this pushes it down. So let's go to the problem child one, which would be this one. And let's see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, we're going to need to address this before we do anything else. And we got to be careful because, like I said, it's barely holding on here the way this is designed. You know, it's not a rod that goes all the way through. It's just a peg, and the peg's only about a millimeter deep. So it's not getting a really good purchase on the side of this to begin with. And then it has a notch in there for some reason. So it's not even getting as good a purchase as it could with something that small. So if I'm looking at something like this, really needs to fit like that. Which means if I pull a string, I'm going to need like 2 of them on this thing. Where's my where's my string at? Oh, we're not using string at all, idiot. We're using a brass wire. That went so much better with a brass wire. Where's my yellow clippers? Hey, you forget this thing. It's only been a couple months, but it's like the string works okay. This works a lot better. So you can feed it in and it not be all like twisted and shit. All right, just cut off a piece. I want to tie it off at the bottom. All right, so we're going to make a loop. It's a lot longer than it needs to be. A lot. I could probably cut it in. Let's try cutting it in half. It's been a little while since I've done this, so May not get it right on the first time. I'd like for it to be tied down about there. Okay, so I want to go around. This needs to be fairly tight. Let's tighten this up. Like so. And make it equal length so we can feed through here easier. All right. And we're going to go around. How much space do we have around this? May have to go around where the big one is here. And unfortunately, when you feed it in the other side, that's exactly where it is solid. All right. Let's do the easy side first, so we can have some success. The easier side first. Let's go in here. All right, we tie this down. That looks a heck of a lot better. Now, if we did it here, do we have enough room to... Do we have enough room there? I don't think so. We're going to just tie it off here. I don't want to put too much tension on it. That should be enough. Just clip it here. All right. That was kind of fun. Okay, one through. It's a lot quicker. The string also works, but this is a lot quicker. Let's remove this. because it's in the way. Let's put one more loop in there. Yeah, this, I like doing this. This is fun. Let's put these relatively close to each other. And the trick with this is going to be, it's kind of narrow. This wheel's kind of narrow. Between the front and the back. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. We can go through that one. There's going to be a little bit of that wire showing, so we'll have to paint it away, add mud so it does not show. But now, when we add this fender, it fits in there pretty nicely. Pretty damn nicely. So much so, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. And you always want to glue these fenders in first before you start adding the stuff to them, because you can add the stuff and then they won't fit up flush against the vehicle. Learn that hard way. Now we'll do the difficult side. It won't be that bad. Not for 13-year-olds. Only experienced modelers need apply. All right, this side. We'll grab some tea. Okay. Yeah, this is holding on by a thread. Honestly, tying this thing down probably helpful. Don't really want that there, but coffee time. There you go. You like the taste of coffee? I generally don't, but man, it gets stuff done. Coffee is the purveyor of a can-do attitude. Well, we need to move this a little bit farther this way. Okay, I'll run the risk with this being up here in the corner. I just have to. All right, let's hurry up and do this before something goes sideways. And we'll reinforce it with super glue. I don't know what gauge wire this is other than it's the correct gauge. Stuff works really well. It's funny, it's only been a few months since I've done this and I'd already forgotten all about it. Already been like, yeah, we use string. Well, we did, and then we realized that this worked better. Since we have this on the corner, I'm going to go ahead and install the one in the back first. I want to go through these two. Perfect. You want that one to go through here. Okay, you want this one. If someone doesn't have patience, don't buy models. And it's funny when I see somebody like that gives up on something that I would consider easy. Like, you're not going to be able to handle some of this stuff. Now, this is okay because I can quit at any time. I could just say, fuck this and throw it in the garbage can, right? Like, nobody's holding a gun to my head. But this is, let's be frank, this is a poor model. Okay, the details on it aren't poor. The engineering or lack thereof is poor. That doesn't mean you can't make something nice out of it, but and here's the difference. When I'm done with this is going to look great, right? The details on it are good. It's proportionally correct looking. The journey is kind of more difficult than it should be, but we're going to get good results. If you're putting together something that's just garbage, you're putting a lot of effort into it for nothing. Like, I already learned a new skill in here I didn't know about, and that's using the stickum on the bottom of the. And sometimes you just gotta overcome. You're not gonna let this thing win. And you go to 35th scale, it's like, this is a breeze. But separate link track. I don't know if you watch me do the separate link track. Separate link track's a piece of cake. Compared to this, like, separate link tracks. But I'm building what I have. I don't want to pay $25 for one of these. Like, I don't need one that badly. Okay, that's in the correct place. And went back out. That's all right. Hey, man, get some free ASMR out of it. Okay, that's good, but we don't want it to come in through here. We want it to come in through. Through here. Feed it through here. Yeah, it's catching on something. Oh, we're almost there. Hot coffee, cold tea, don't like the taste of soda. Well, you're in luck. I don't like hot coffee. I don't like anything hot. My internal temperature is too high. Okay, I don't mind where it's being fed through. I wish it was tighter. I think I can make that work though. Let's not be too choosy. Fuck. Drew blood and wasn't an X-Acto knife. It was with this. Startles the hell out of you. The paperclip, the staple. All right, let's remove the staples. Woof. That's only the second time I think that's happened live. Not with an X-Acto knife. You know, the thing with an X-Acto knife is just not putting a whole lot of pressure behind it. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that, as I like to say, I make different kind of mistakes. Let's remove this. All right. Woo! Man, that startled me. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to put pressure on that. What was it that I ended up getting blood on? There was something else, a T-34 or something like that. There was something. Maybe it was an A-13. So there was some tank. Oh, it was a Crusader. There was a Crusader. There's a Crusader with some blood on it. Sealed up? Sealed up. All right, cool. Yeah, we're putting pressure on that one. It's funny, the one time I need a left hand, usually it's like a right hand injury is what the problem is. All right. Perfect. Man, it just startles you. It's not even that painful. It's like, the fuck? All right. This should hold this in place pretty well. I don't think this side needs a third one. I don't think this side needs a third one. Now what I am going to do is, I don't think the super glue is going to react with this other thing. And I can't add this to it or it'll soften it up. Let's use this one so it doesn't make a big mess. Let's tighten these joints down here. Yeah. That hurts more than the freaking injection that I put in myself. No, I don't do morphine. What's that shit called? Not morphine, but heroin. We'll have to tinker with this a little bit. Get it right. Now, does it fit even? Yeah, pretty much. By the time I put it on a stand, that'll straighten all that out. Okay, good. Now we can go ahead and put the fender on this side. I think the previous convention, that's where I picked up all those German half tracks, and some of them I had to repair. They had the one that had the running gear stuck to the top like peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. And we fixed it. Just take some patience. It's either that or you throw the model away. And that's just a shame. That's a shame to have to do something like that. So, you know, put your head on straight and get her done. This model deserves to be built. Like I said, the details on it are pretty decent. Starting to look the business. I think I'm going to remove this, a little bit of this. Not so it's not that tight of a fit. Okay, it's still a little tight. I think I know what the problem is. It's a little tight where I don't want it to scuff up the paint job that we're going to do on it. Let's go ahead and reduce some of this from the inside. See how much of a difference that made. God, it feels like Sunday. Look at that. Look at that. That's exactly what we're looking for. It's not my first rodeo, cornflake. All right, let's put these two halves together. It looks like the proportions are off on it somehow. It's not big, but it seems like it's a little too narrow. It'll work. I suspect a lot of these were thrown in the garbage. I had one of these. It was a Panther. That as a 14-year-old, I couldn't put it together. I never did put it together. But sometimes I feel like painting. Sometimes I feel like building. Let's hold this together for a little bit. Yeah, this little guy's gonna look good. And it's gonna be, Dunkelgelb. With green and the brown. I'm gonna try to do the squiggles. We'll see. We'll see if we can get away with doing that. Man, that glue. Oh, what'd we stick to? The fucking super glue. You son of a bitch. Careful what you put your fingers. Oh, you put it there. Ah. Put this a little. Make sure we don't have a gap in there. I'm pretty sure that only the elite units, only the elite Panzer divisions would get this vehicle. There weren't that many of them made. And I have a feeling this is like a stopgap substitution for like an armored car. This would be in a unit that would normally have armored cars. And it's like, well, we don't have enough armored cars to get along because armored cars are expensive to put together. Expensive to produce, lots of moving parts. Especially the German armored cars that I think all of them can drive forward and backwards. the 231s, and obviously the 232s as well, since they're a variant of the 231 and the 234s, all drive in both directions. Super complicated stuff. I think I read one time they cost as many man hours to build as like a Panzer IV or something like that. Okay. And put this away. That went well. There's only one place to put the door. Let's grab it. Alright, and what's there beside it? Jerry can rope. How about all that? It's actually a little step down here. Well, there's no place for it to attach to. Typical. Now that is handy not having these little holes for equipment. In case you want to move it around, you don't have to fill the holes. Okay, now we can put the headlamps up here. D19 come out here, and K and J5. I'm not sure which one's which, so we're going to have to consult. Okay, the 5s are the ones that are here towards the top. So these are the 5s. So these go up here. Let's go ahead and do those. Same thing over here. Just trying to see which way they faced. I don't think they're vertical. Again, I'm thinking the instructions are wrong. Yeah. They're like at a 45-degree angle. Okay. Hey T, new to the channel, looks awesome. Thanks, man. I'm glad you could find me. I normally try to film on my phone, but I thought it was acting up lately, but it's actually YouTube that like freaked out. So, all right, we're gonna put the tow hooks on next. Yes. Here's errors and stuff on this thing. I can't recommend this. Oh no, they're gonna go out of business. Too late. No. I picked this up for a pittance. So it's also, you can't go to places and just pick up 1/72 scale stuff. You're gonna have to mail order it, and it's not gonna be a pittance. So I can usually find things at pretty good deals, because this is yesteryear's scale. Like nobody does this scale anymore, other than a handful of us. Here in the United States, seems like nobody does this scale. Let's see which way I want it to. Yeah, I want that. I want that little detail to show on there. If I find somebody selling these things, I can usually get them at a pretty good deal because they've had them for decades and are tired of looking at them. Again, no locator holes or anything. So, luckily we live in the time of the internet, and we can figure things out by looking at pictures of it. Okay. That's done. We have these little pieces that close this up, this distance. I think they're probably little storage containers. But they're different from each other. One of them has a bunch of vertical lines. That's on this side. Make sure we put the correct one on the correct side. This one should be on this side. And this one should be on the other side. Whoop! I live in a land with no carpet, so it should be easy to find. Here it is. I can't lean over this because then I hurt my fucking back. Not immediately, but doing it for hours. Not my back, my neck. And that is not worth it. Let's just get close with this. That one's close enough on that one. This one will go on this side, and then we'll go to the other side. Do you have anything set up where reviewers can send you models for the channel? I don't, but I don't. I don't want your models. I greatly appreciate it, but it's like I've got so much stuff to work on that. Unless you're going to throw something away, you got to ship it across that, make your life easy. Don't do that. You don't need to spend that kind of. I appreciate it. Just come on and hang out with me. That's that's the best thing you could do. I'm glad I'm doing something that people are interested in. That's great. But I appreciate. Please don't I got a friend of mine who's like, hey, I bought some more Hot Wheels for you. I'm like, stop sending me Hot Wheels cars, please. I've got probably 400 of them. And, I'll get to them. I've been putting one together like every other day. Well, not this week. Just taking a little break from it. See, this one does not fit. This does not fit great. I have so many things to work on. Shame that, Tony, you don't ask for anything and do a great job. Well, I've gotten a lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot of ideas on the internet for free, right? So this is just my way of giving back. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me because, well, I don't want to do this alone in the quiet. It's boring. And I got used to doing hobbying and painting with someone, and then they decided to, move away. This is many years ago. And if there's something you can take away from my videos, it's like, don't give up. Yes, there's some things that have no hope, but most things you can you can power through. And it's really empowering. And I like to do this kind of stuff first thing in the morning. So if the rest of your day goes to hell, which fortunately only happens on a work day for me, today is not one of those. At least you got to add something positive that happened. So this is supposed to fit in there, and it doesn't quite fit in. So we're going to, and it looks like it's catching here at the top more. So we're just going to we're going to sand this all the way around, just a little bit. Try fit it again. Amazing. I got into gaming through DBA, and then I got into Gaslands a big way. We'll be back. Looks like you followed a similar path. Well, I got into DBA because, for me, wargaming has always been about playing with my stuff. So, first stuff that, if you watched any of my video yesterday, I don't know what you would have, but one of my viewers, Ben, was asking about Sweet Creek 4, which is World War I, World War II naval ship combat, which is really the first war game I really played. And I would travel to shows and I would bring my own warships and I'd see what they were playing, and then I would pick who you want to play, and the first thing I would do is take their miniature off and I'd put my own, because that's the whole point. There's no point in playing with somebody else's figures if you can make your own. So it's always been I want to play with my own stuff, and therefore I want to paint more things so I can play with other things. It doesn't make sense for me to, as someone who paints, to use other people's stuff, even if they look better than mine, So DBA was just a way of like, oh, I can use my own army, And it's even better. DBA kind of like, other people don't touch your figures, right? It's just it's a relaxing little atmosphere where you don't even have to get up. I hate to sound like a Jabba the Hutt, but, there's no suffering involved in it, So, that's kind of really Italian. I actually had no interest in the medieval and the ancients. It just kind of happened. I liked history. I'm a history guy. If DBA had been a science fiction game, wouldn't play it. I'm not into science fiction. Gaslands isn't science fiction. It's like Car Wars and that kind of stuff. And I'm putting my own spin on it in my own world. Like, I like my own teams and, but the core rules are flexible, and, the author did a good job of, putting together. Now, DBA versus the guy that created Gaslands, Phil Barker is a brilliant genius. He's not good at organizing a rule book for mortals to understand, but his rules, he's super bright. So I wouldn't compare the two. But DBA also is the only game where it's like, I didn't want to play anything outside the way the rules were explained, because if you go and have your own house rules and then you go play a tournament, you have to take those house rules away, and you're playing it'd be like getting used to watching, a show on 4K TV, right? And then you go to a tournament, and the tournament is like going and watching somebody's TV set from 1972. It's black and white. Like, I don't want that experience, True game, excuse to paint stores. Exactly. I remember one video showed a tub of about 100 kilograms, 15 millimeter figures under your desk. Well, it's not there, it's in the garage. And yeah, 100 kilograms, let's see, how much does it weigh? It probably weighs 45 kilograms, maybe 40 kilograms. It's one of those things that it's heavy, and because it doesn't have handles, those things, like sometimes you'll pick something up and it's like, man, this isn't that heavy, but because I have to carry it, away from me because of whatever size it is, it becomes like, it's that, like you'll throw your back out. You'll pull something in your back. I'm not that out of shape, but, yeah, I still have it. I'm not going to get rid of it. It'll eventually, get painted or whatever. 1 kilogram behind you. Yeah. Yeah, I've just run out of space just to display this stuff. Like, I had all these Gasland cars. I don't know, 62 now or something like that. Didn't have anywhere to put them. Well, I was putting them in the same place that my tanks were back here. And they don't fit in here anymore. So I got this little display case on Amazon and filled it up completely. I'm like, great. Now what? Now I got to get another one. Well, I got space probably to put two other ones in this room like this, but they're expensive. They're like $120, you know. You get cheaper ones. You can get ones for like 90 or whatever, but like I heard like bad reviews. You gotta have the glass on it, or you know, the next thing you don't want to dust these things, but it looks good, you know. And I want my stuff displayed because it's artwork. You know, they look cool. Like, why put them in a box or something? You know. So, yeah. So it's a great hobby, man. I jokingly call this therapy, and I'm not really joking that far. You know, people that go and they have to have a drink after work because they're stressed out, and I'm very stressed out from work, which is one of the main. Is also one of the reasons I don't play DBA anymore. Like, you know, it's too much, and it's not stressful when I'm playing the game with my people. It's just too stressful to like put out the videos and do all this stuff and hey, this is new, and post it on 12 different places on Facebook and promote it on Fanaticus and put it in all these places, and you just can't get any traction from anybody. Or you can't get any traction, and then somebody comes in, like a couple people on Fanaticus, like one guy in particular that I don't think he's ever played the game the way it's meant to be played, but he wants to modify everything. It's just really frustrating to get new players, and then they get led down the wrong path by folks that aren't putting any effort into it, you know. So it's like, I need to step away from it. It has nothing to do with the games that I played with the people that I played it with. It's a superb game. So I don't like to talk bad about DBA, because the reality is that we had a lot of fun with it. And they're still playing it, but, you know, so I started playing DBA. I'm like, you know, I've got 40 armies or so. So I've spent tens of thousands of hours painting this. I don't want this game to disappear and my time wasted on these armies not be able to use them. And then it just turned into like, these armies are keeping me from doing other stuff. Like, I don't care to ever play with them again. That doesn't mean they're for sale or anything like that. It's still artwork. But, you know, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. I wouldn't have done Gaslands. I wouldn't have done, you know, when Gaslands came out, I started playing it, and we played with unmodified cars. I'd painted a couple of them by then, you know, that took a long time to paint. And, like, well, I don't have time for this in DBA. But, you know, once DBA is gone, like, yeah, see, this fits a little better now. This fits a little better. I think we can trim a little bit more off of it on all sides, and then we will glue it in place. You know, and it's funny, the model group people, they don't understand gaming. The gaming group people, lots of them don't paint stuff. I'm kind of in the middle of everything. Like, I don't want to build models and they don't potentially get used in a game. Like, that just seems like a waste of time. You know? When the fun stops, stops. That's right. It's therapy, hobby every day, 7 days a week, and relax, mix it up between ancient World War II and on Napoleonic when I want a challenge, but I never get bored. Yeah. No, it's a lot better than watching television. That's what I don't understand. Oh, look at that. Look at that little fucker. Look at that little fucker piece. Fits in there. These aren't bad models, but man, you gotta have some experience behind you so they don't torture you. And the thing about DBA is it took me 6 months to finish an army, right? Like, I don't mind, but I can't deviate from anything else. I mean, I can't be like, hey, let me build a tank. Like, I'm not gonna finish and be able to use them in the next tournament. You know, there are fewer people who can actually do this hobby and stick to it consistently. Yeah, I mean it's this, it's a great hobby. But there's some people that do this hobby and aren't happy. Like I'm like, yeah, I hope you can tell that I'm having a good time while I'm doing this. If you're miserable while you're doing this, go find a different hobby. And there's people that are like that. That's why I don't think I'm going to go to the game conventions anymore because it's like I said, it's I don't have a problem with a core group of people that I play with that you've probably seen on videos. They're all cool, you know. They don't uh, they don't subscribe to my channel, but because they're too lazy. But other than that, they're good sports. Because I don't tolerate people that aren't good sports. Like, you know, that's why I say you'll watch the videos. I'm like, man, you guys play cocked dice. I said, yeah. The problem isn't that you can't play a cocked dice. The problem is that you either always play it or never play it. So let's just always play them, and it just saves time. If you roll dice on the floor, that's something different, you know. But I remember when I was in my early days of gaming, we played at this hobby store. There was a couple guys that all they would do is argue. I'm like, you need to find something else to do, man, or go take the bar and go defend people or something. But that's just and what I really like about Gaslands, and this is definitely a DBA affected this. The last couple of games of DBA, like I'm talking out loud everything that I'm thinking about. I don't want to keep anything hidden because it's useful for people that are watching. I don't care whether I win or lose so much. I mean, I don't care if I lose a game. I really don't want to spend hundreds of hours on an army and then there are a bunch of losers that can't win a game, right? Like the Ottoman Turks. Beautiful army, love them. They can't, they're like, for every game they win, they've lost 5 or 4 or something like that. Still a beautiful army. But it's the narrative that I'm interested in. I'm basically providing a story that I'm not writing. The dice are writing the story. And I really enjoy that. And the Gaslands even more so. Um, haven't been able to do a video of that yet with people, but um, I really like talking about and I really like playing by committee. I know it sounds weird, but it's like talk about everybody what you're, and that's total. That all came from running DBA games, and like, all right, well, we could do this, or maybe this guy can move over this. Like all the options, I really enjoy playing that way. And when we play Gaslands, that comes up a lot. Like I'll like give people suggestions when they're on another team, just because it's fun. You still have the random rolls of trying to kill each other. But I don't do Gaslands, but I've never heard a negative thing about it. Yeah, folks moan about the hobby in front of them doing it wrong and missing the point. Some people enjoy being miserable. Yeah, some of those people go on cruises too. We've been on a cruise, and I've never had a bad cruise. And they're just like miserable on a cruise. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. This needs to go a little bit farther down. Some people enjoy being miserable. Yeah, I don't know. I get enough misery at work. I don't want it on my own time. So I'll probably never play a game where you can't modify it as you need. And it's not that I want to change everything. It's just that like Gaslands. I don't like the background and the background idea that the author had. And he even says in it, go you can play something else in it. You know. The only thing I'm not doing is I have teams, but there's no teams like in Gaslands where you get free shit. Like just because you're on Rutherford, you get these free perks. Like you don't get free perks on teams. They're just teams where they're like loosely together so that you can, as a theme, the same way that DBA has book armies, right? Like you don't get a bonus for like using 2 armies together, both from book 1. They just happen to both be from book one. All right, that doesn't fall in deeper. Why does not fall in deeper? Probably because it's catching right here. There's a couple games I've never heard anything negative about. Gaslands is one of them that springs to mind. Mordheim is one that springs to mind. Everybody likes Mordheim. I've never played it. I've never really played Games Workshop games. Other than Talisman. I played some Hero Quest. I don't have anything against them. Just I do have something against that whole codex mentality. Like, hey, not enough people are buying our stuff. Let's reformulate. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. I don't mind buying things, but happiness doesn't come from buying things. Okay, so that little thing is closed up. All right, where do we go to now? We've got tools and stuff to put on, which I am extremely skeptical that they told me the correct location for them. So we were going to have to look at that in detail. There's a little jerry can they want you to put in the back. All right, well, that does help seal a hole up. But I'm going to look and make sure that there are... These are nice figures. I mean, they're really pretty good. Some figures are like, ridiculous looking. You ridiculous looking figure. But these are not those. Okay, here's the jerry can, and the jerry can, unfortunately, has an injection mark in the middle of it. Why did you guys do that? I have other jerry cans. Oh, that's the backside. Dumbass. Okay. Let's find some pictures of the rear of it. I tend to trust Tamiya more than anybody else. So let's look at see if they have one built into the back of it. They don't. It's not a freebie. All right, let's go look at some actual pictures. SDKFZ 250/9 rear. This wonderful time that we live in where you can just pull up stuff. Let's go to images. Looking for one on the rear. See, that's not a 250. That's a 251. You got to know what you're looking at. You need to know what you're looking for before you find it. Okay, I see one there. I'm gonna roll with it. I get happy adding to my collection to get full armies or sets with no hope of getting through them in the next 20-year rate. 15mm suppliers are closing. It ain't a bad idea. Yeah, the fear of missing out. And I don't know what would have happened if I would have, when I started doing this scale, this was the scale to do. 15s, the only 15s that were out at the time was Skytrex had teamed up with but there's no bracket on it. See if I've got a jerry can with a bracket. I mean, why not? I'm sitting in front of all these little parts. Hey, here's a jerry can with with brackets. It's one from Plastic Soldier Company. So we will donate this one, and we will put one with brackets on it. That's why you have all these extra parts. I am going to build a tank for Gaslands. It's just not going to be based on anything real. I just think that that's just too. I mean, I could do better than that. So I will. Glue this little guy back here to cover up the hole. And there's one that has the wire there for the cable. I may move the cable up to the top there. Now this goes both ways. Which side? Which way do we want it? Let's show me a picture. Here's the garbage. One day later than planned. That must suck. Like, hey, we'll give you Christmas off. Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, you got to come in and work the next day. But that's a Saturday. Yep, you get fucked out of that. Like, you get one day free and get screwed out of another one. Now, I don't see it, so I'm gonna put it like this. Okay, we'll fill that little hole in. Same way I had to fill in that antenna. Hey, we'll make a custom vehicle, not available in stores. Really not available. See, this is the problem with these instructions. Like, it'll give you this. Look at the stuff here. It's supposed to go on the bumper. There's no locator holes on any of this stuff. So unless you didn't live in the land of the internet, you're just guessing where that stuff goes on there. All right, I'm going to go use the little boy's room. I'll be right back. I'm glad the sound came back. Like I said, that's what happened the other day. That's why I stopped filming with the phone, because I thought maybe it was the phone connection. But YouTube's doing their fucking around with stuff, you know. What's in here? I think I put all the shirts and pieces together so they wouldn't fall apart. What's here? It's other parts for the Panzer 3s. Okay, cool. Yeah, here's all the Panzer 3 parts that we wanted to doctor these guys up. That's good. All right, we need to look at let's put this back so we don't get I don't throw anything away. Like, there's a barrel to a Flampanzer, because the Panzer 3 you can make it a Flampanzer or not. It's like, we're going to keep that. There's no reason to throw that stuff away. M7 is like a little step under the door. All right, so then we got to come over here, find out which piece is M7. Okay, so it should be at the top here. This little post. Now, is that really on 250s? I don't have a squadron signal on them. Otherwise, I'd be all up in that. I'm a big fan of squadron signal books. They're just complicated enough to give you the right idea. It's not here. I'm not going to put it on it if I don't see any photographic evidence of it. It's not there. It's not here on the actual vehicle. Of course, these were all news. Yeah, the more slab-sided ones. Okay, here's one that's not a new. It's not there. I'm leaving it off. Okay, here's one that we're going to use as the guinea pig. Let's visit this site. Yeah. Oh, it's not a 250. It's just a 251. Well, that should work. Let's compare the two things. So there's a box here on this side. Let's see. Do you tell me to put that there? Yes. Okay. That's piece 51. This is a pain in the ass. Looking for which one 51 is. 51 is this one. Yeah, you don't want to install these before you put the fenders on. They tell you to do it wrong here? They don't tell you. The road and armored cars, that was, luckily I didn't screw that up. But you put those two pieces too far back from the edge and then they don't fit because of the angle. Okay. And no locator. So this is going to need to go over here. I'm going to go ahead and put it, this thing glued together. Wellish. Right in that zone. I like the tweezer work. Except when the tweezers move on you. Okay, we got that little box right there. All right. Moving on to the next one on that side. We have N1 with some tubular stuff, and there's a there's that little piece that stays. I don't know what the hell that's for. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put that one in next, which is 23. Okay, 23 is, it almost looks like a little bracket for shirts in or something. 23 is right here. Here's both of them. And they have little holes, but there's no hole locators for them. So we're going to remove those holes. It's these two pieces. We're going to put them both in. One goes on either side. And they're going to go just behind the split there. And we'll do the same thing on this side. No locator holes provided, no locator holes needed. Now, if it was something really heavy, I might consider drilling them out. Okay. There's those two little things. Okay, in these two holes, it really should be rear view mirrors. And this thing is screwed up and gives you other headlamps. Or it sure looks like other headlamps. Maybe that's what the rear view mirrors are supposed to look like. What do they show them pictured? Yeah, they make them look exactly the same as the headlights. So here's the headlights, and then here's the rear view mirror. This is D19, and the illustration looks exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and install both of those, and we'll have them face the wrong way. Well, the correct way, which is backwards. That's the other thing. It's like, the people in the model club, like, oh, you got to go to these shows and enter in a contest. I'm like, first of all, I've won a lot of stuff playing DBA. I got nowhere to put them. Not only that, I don't have any of them up. I don't need, I don't care if anybody else likes my stuff. So especially people that aren't like my viewers or people that I game with, just random people. Like the one time I entered stuff in Historicon, I'm like, I could use some spending money. Let me enter the painting contest at Historicon. And I went and picked them up. And one guy wanted to give me some free advice that I didn't ask for. And he said, well, you shouldn't have entered so many. So I entered a DBA Army, right? It's not too many figures. Oh, you should have entered less figures. So I was a DBA Army. Well, you might have done better. I'm like, I don't need your fucking money. I didn't tell him that, but I'm like, you know, just creating turmoil for myself. So I'm like, all right, we're not entering a painting contest again. I don't need to enter, I mean, it's great that other people like my stuff. I need to like my stuff. That's what's important. If I like my stuff, I'll create more things for it. I don't really doesn't matter that other people like what I did. Yeah, these wheels are messed up looking. We'll fix them when this thing goes on a stand. This one's gonna have to go on a stand because just so you don't touch it too much when you move it around. It's pretty delicate. Okay, moving along. We've got this. That might actually be the horn. 17. Really? This thing. And then once we're done with this, we're going to roll to the pans with threes. And we're going to make all of them different. Well, these three that's different. That way we can spray them and do some snow Germans. Okay, which way does it face? Forward. All right. This has a shovel. And this periscopy thing. Let's look at 250. There's one. Here's another. Oh, I like how this has a little pickaxe up on the side here. We're going to do that. So that whole side isn't like barren. We're gonna put that there. We're gonna need this. This thing loosens up on its own. Like, what's up with that? This is a good vehicle for a skirmish game, though. Just saying. Okay, which way do they have the axe facing? Backwards? Hmm. Ooh. Yeah, there you go. A little detail to look at there. Okay. What else we got on the other? What do we got on the other side? Let's add some things to the other side before we don't run into an issue. Okay, 52. Okay, here's a dragon one, and on this other side they have the shovel on it. Okay, and they also give you an axe. No axe there. Before we put the shovel down, some boxes that are going to need to go there. It's funny they're not on there. I don't mind having extra shovels and stuff. The extra boxes aren't really that useful. Okay. I think we can leave that alone now. It's not gonna slide off. All right, start off by putting these 3 boxes here. I am going to put that little rope. I'm just going to put it horizontal up here above the jerry can. See, I'd be fine if they just molded this stuff on. Now, it does allow you to build different little variations of it. Oh, I see. It wants me to put these up on the side. Well, I'm going to do that. That'll look good. Yeah. And these are all maintenance stuff. Okay. This whole sanding business today has actually worked really well. $250. Yeah, see, you got to be careful with stuff you find on the internet. Like, for instance, here is from Blueprints Text. Like, this is a pretty accurate site, I think, but it's actually reversed. Like, the door on the rear is reversed on there. So, yeah. I am gonna put these up here where they suggest putting them up there. I guess I gotta put the other side for that. Ah, you bent on me. I must have touched it. Same thing with this. Son of a biscuit eater. Where did it go? Oh, they have it on this side. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Those are on that side. Yep. And the other side doesn't show any of them. No, I think I'm going to. And this has the jerry can down there. I think I'm going to wait on that, on these pieces, and we're going to go ahead and stop for the morning. But I appreciate you guys coming by, as always. Don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe, and I think it helps the algorithm.